Hello guys, welcome again to the channel. This is Felipe Coelho and I'm glad to be back with you after this short break here on YouTube. Today we're doing a video on the great John McLaughlin and analyzing a bit of his style and essence, which I believe to be mostly based on the rhythmic sphere of music. Of course, you have great depth tonally, harmonically, melodically, but the rhythmic component of John McLaughlin's playing is definitely the most important one we want to be looking at. So why is it so unique and interesting? I believe it to be because of the influence from India and the conical art form within music, which is an art form where you use syllables to sing note groupings of different numbers, note groupings of 2 16th notes, 3 16th notes, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 7, I believe even up to 9, but then you can sum them up in order to make greater intervals. For example, not intervals, but note sequences. For example, 11 could be 5 plus 6, which could be 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, or however you want to do it. So let's look at the combinations that we have here that we're going to use as our melodic molecules, and we're going to mostly consider them always accenting on 1 to bring about that dislocation, especially when you spin, when you cycle a certain note grouping. For example, 5 over 4, you get that 1 being placed on a different part of the beat every time, and that's the beauty of it, is that mathematical twist that you get when you have these rhythms going against a 2x4 or 4x4. Let's get started. The first and easiest note grouping is that of 2. So whatever 2 notes you choose, for example, in the A minor scale, pentatonic. But if you, looking at the guitar, consider 2 notes per string, then it's easy to do whatever groupings of 2, whatever multiples of 2. For example, 2, 4, 6. And if you have a beat here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 6 is going to be like this. Right? So I changed the note there. I used the major 6 a couple of times, but that doesn't matter. What matters here is the rhythm. So you have that taka, 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 that displacement of the accent, which starts to bring about that nature we're looking for, or at least is what I hear in his playing and I'm trying to emulate. Another thing, of course, philosophically, just an addendum here in the lesson, is you don't want to imitate, somebody forever or try to sound like somebody, but you can always learn and take their tools, and then you apply it whenever you see musically fit. Now, note groupings of 3. Well, any scale that uses 3 notes per string is going to help you get there, right? Because you're going to have, for example, G Ionian. If you consider the accent, the first note of each string, then you are subdividing 3 notes, which I believe in conical to be takata, 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 takata. You have this. But remember to always accent 1 in order to bring about the essence of that number. So now continuing, we're going to have 4. 4 is 2 plus 2, again, right? Or you can have a different thing. For example, here is a sequence of 4 notes that I like to do. Just that. It is 3 notes, and then a third above, either a major or minor third, whatever scale you're in. In this case here, I'm thinking maybe G mixolydian, so I have that natural G there, and then you move it up a 4th, and then another 4th, and it becomes this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a great little conical molecule for 4. Taka, 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 ta, and then you work it up to speed, of course. Make sure you play it very clearly. Move it up the scale. I think that's definitely kind of brings about the essence of McLaughlin's playing. There's many different ones like that. Another example here, for example, playing over a C major, and now this is more for tonal rather than modal approach. So tonal, we're going to aim for the tonic third and fifth, which John McLaughlin did also very well. So in the case of C major, basically how you approach these target tones, here's the way he would do it. So that's putting two chromatic tones before the target, and then doing one upper neighbor. The upper neighbor is the fourth, down to the third. Here's the upper neighbor is the sixth, down to the five. Always targeting 3, 5, and 1. So here's... Now this is a modal approach. A modal approach is when all of the scale tones have the same weight and importance, and you can stop on all of them and use them as color tones, right? Stationary colors. So here is on D minor, Dorian, for example. So here it is. That's one of the greatest ones. And then just take that up. What's going on here? You're approaching, doing a neighbor note, a third, and a third. So it's almost like a tetrachord where you could see it as 7, 1, 3, 5. And then you move that idea. If we're doing on the guitar, it's usually we tend to do it in fourths because the guitar is in fourths. So as you're moving up the scale, you end up doing it in fourths. So that's in fourths. So I did this. Let's use here the D minor scale again. And then the next one, a fourth from C, is F. So I do it in F. One step, a third, and a third. Then the next note is this. Fourth up is this, a step, a third, and a third. So you get this. That's the molecule. Repeat it. And again. And again. That gives you a grouping of 4. And then you can move that through the whole scale. But if it is a harmonic minor, there it is. One thing that I hear in John McLaughlin's playing a lot, you start at a middle note. What I mean by middle note is because you always have groupings of 3 notes. You can see he thinks like that a lot. So the middle note, and then you do up, down, down. There it is. And now let's take that up a fourth. Up a fourth. All in the scale of D harmonic minor. So here you have... Okay, so let's tie those two together. Again. Here's a great little rhythmic grouping that you can make it twist over a 4x4 or 2x4. It consists in doing this. Here in D Dorian, I'm playing, that's 5, 6, 7, 2, 1. And then I'm going to pick it up from that 6. That's it. So I got 5, 6, 7, 2, 1. And then 6, 7, 6, 5. And then you take that pattern and you can move it around. You can move it up in fourths. And then if you apply a different subdivision to it, that's definitely another great tool for phrasing. So let's try that in quintuplet, see what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to make the one very clearly accented. And then it gets interesting when you add just one more 16th note in there, just to throw off the machine. So you can get this. The way I like to do it, which is another John McLaughlin type of phrasing, is using the open string. It's very cool, I believe. It doesn't matter what the open string interval is, you just throw it. So that becomes this instead of... Now you're going to have this. And if you put that against the 2x4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you could tie that to another idea. And then you can try to play fast. This kind of stuff here is just perfect for playing fast because it's a round, just very clear sequence, or a pattern. You repeat it a bunch of times, doing a strong staccato. Just make sure you got it, and then speed it up. I could see John doing this, and maybe at the end throwing something like that. Yeah, well, this is a few examples on the great John McLaughlin. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Stick around for more. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.